Ever wonder why some realtors effortlessly attract clients while others struggle to get noticed? It all comes down to your unique value proposition, your UVP. Today, we are going to reveal how you can craft a powerful UVP that sets you apart and draws in your ideal client. We're going to do this with the help of ChatGPT. Stay tuned. So, last week, we discussed the importance of, well, basically some myths and some struggle points and fail points of bad UVPs or why they don't work. And then we followed up with giving you some strategies to help identify and nail down that UVP. Well, being the tech guy that I am, I kind of thought, let's tie the both together. So today, what we're going to do in here is use ChatGPT, use some solid prompts to make sure you can get that UVP you're looking for. I will tell you, not everything's going to be able to be identified here because it's going to require research on your part and some little bit of effort, but I'm going to give you the steps to help get this done. Hope it works for you. So, the one thing I'm going to tell you at all times with this is I really need you guys always to really come out here and using brainstorming rule 101. And that brainstorming rule 101 is essentially don't critique too hard, too fast. And really, brainstorming 101 is you don't critique at all. You just write, you just go and you let it go from there. And then you figure it out and you clean it up. So I'm going to tell you when you use this, and if you're using AI tools, ChatGPT, Gemini, Copilot, Llama, whichever one you want to use these steps today as a brainstorming solution. Use these tools today to help make sure you can nail down what you're looking for. And then I would come back to it and keep coming back to it. And I'm going to tell you the trick. I'm going to tell you the trick right now to brainstorming in ChatGPT or any AI tool. Write it down, put it somewhere, and then come back and start a new thread, a new chat, a new Gemini, whichever one you want to call it. Start new. Don't let it go from there. Let it clean it up and get it out there, because all these tools do have memories to some degree. Even though they say they don't, they very much do. So just something I want you to be cognizant of. All right. So with that, when we come into ChatGPT, there are essentially three things that you need to identify for a UVP to make this happen. First one is you need to identify and nail down who your target audience is. Now, you could do some of this research on your own, and I would definitely recommend doing that, right? You need to understand the community you're in, the profile of the buyer and seller. You can come in there and identify and read surveys and watch stuff like that. You need to understand where they're at and what they want. Not from us, from them, right? We're trying to guess what they're doing, hear it from their voices. 2, we need to identify their, with one, you need to identify their pain points, their strengths, their dreams, their desires, right? You need to identify that in this tool. 2, you need to identify your strengths and weaknesses. Now, this can be hard, but it's not impossible because we all have strengths and we all have weaknesses. 3, you need to know the competition. So when we do the competition, you need to know who they are. And then 4, you need to write it out together and get that out there. And you're going to refine it and clean it up and make others in place. So those are the steps we're going to go through today. So the very first step that we're going to run into, and I'm going to bring up the screen here, is I want us to come out here and establish what our market is. So if I come out here, you already see I got my script here. Start with a new chat. I'm going to come out here. Sorry. Identify who my target audience is. And that target audience, it could be anything. Today, what I'm going to use as an example, I'm going to use an example of a particular buyer type. Then I'm going to identify what that looks like within a community, right? So if I come out here, I'm going to say, okay, hold on one second. I am going to say, so what I'm first going to, sorry about that. So what I'm first going to say in here is, I'm going to come out here and establish what I want this to be, right? I got to give it personas. I got to give it various information. So I'm going to say, take on the persona of a real estate marketing expert that focuses on getting new agents consistent leads. So now, again, I'm gonna always caveat this, folks. I've been using ChatGPT for a long time, so it's already trying to guess what I want. Because again, just as a hint, if you come up top here to your face in your profile and you come into your settings, you can start identifying your profile. So it's already taking some things it thinks it knows about me. It's trying to make some guesses. I'm going to tell you one of the things you can do to not give this paragraph out if you want to shorten this up. Just at the very end of that sentence, say, do you understand? Yes or no, and it will simplify that out. Right. Today, I need help refining my UVP, which also can be a USP, unique selling proposition. My UVP that is focused on move up sellers in Wheaton, Illinois, right? Goal is to get them to choose me for their business. Remember, before when I talked to you about ChatGPT, you have to know what your outcome is, what your goals are, context, right? These are things we need to know. So again, mine wants to write out. Sometimes they won't do this. Sometimes they'll be out there for other things in place. But it's telling you right now, it says, great, my UVP will resonate with move up sellers in Wheaton. Here's what key components of it. Understand the target audience. Move up sellers are typically homeowners looking to sell their property to buyers more desirable. Identify their unique strengths and positions in here. All right. So it's telling you what to do in here. You can have it here. So the first thing I want to do is, thanks. Tell me the wants, needs, desires, and pain points of my ideal client. Now, again, I'm using 4.0 or 4.0. So some of the stuff you may or may not have access to, but 3.5, most things I'm showing today will have access to that stuff. Now, what I would recommend is you look at these and you review them, and maybe you get rid of some that don't make sense to you, or some things that you just don't, it's not in your repertoire. It's not, it's not going to be a value proposition that you're going to focus on or whatever. You can remove some of these and you can tell ChatGPT to take that out, right? What I'm going to say is, okay, next, identify my strengths. Now, if you have spent time up top in your world and customizing ChatGPT to understand who you are, what you do, your goals, blah, 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 and all that stuff. And again, you can even have ChatGPT identify that so you can just copy and paste it. If you have done that, this is all I need for identifying my strengths. If you have not done this, you're going to want to make sure you come out and you're going to make sure you come out and give them a website that talks about some of your stuff, or you help identify it, or you teach ChatGPT to ask you questions to help identify your strengths. You'll see some of those prompts on the bottom here, but you can do that. But and if it doesn't know your strengths, it will start asking questions. It'll start brainstorming with you. Again, remember, we're brainstorming. We're not critiquing anything. We're just saying yes right now. And if you're not sure, how did you identify my strengths, right? You can just put that in there. It's not hard. Once you have that done, I only got one more step. Remember, first step, identify who your client is, who that target market is. Identify their strengths, weaknesses, desires, pains, right? 2, identify who you are, where your strengths and weaknesses sit. 3, we have to identify our competition so we can separate, if possible, ourselves aside from this. Remember, it's not about us talking about our clients. It's about positioning us properly so we know where we sell and where we're different. Here's the trick to this one. So I'm going to show you this right now. Now, this may not work perfectly because I was practicing it earlier, so it may make an assumption. Right. Notice it's giving me very generic information. So here's the trick to this. What I'm going to tell you is go into your MLS, go into tools. Like I have InfoSparks and I love InfoSparks. InfoSparks has a tool called Market View. I could come in there and identify in my area the top 5 agents that are producing right now. And then I can come in here and tell it to go evaluate that agent. So I could say something like the lines of evaluate I don't know. We're not going to get into it since we're doing video on this one. But I could say evaluate XYZ agent and give me their skill sets, right? And once I do that, it's going to come out here and produce a lot of information in here, right? So again, you can see that it did not give me any real skills in here. So I would come in here and I would say evaluate, these 5 agents and tell me their strengths and weaknesses. What I'm going to say is with that, okay, with the 3 areas identified for my UVP, please create my UVP for move up buyers in Wheaton. Now I'm going to tell you, this is not what I see as a UVP. But what I like about this is a great one pager. This is solid. This will create a good one pager. And if you're not getting this, again, ask for a 1-page UVP. This is what it will do. It'll put this out. All right. So I can say, now it's when you're starting to get a little more constructive, right? You're going to probably like brainstorming 202. If you come in here, you're going to say, refine UVP to be concise, compelling, and in my voice. Again, if you have not identified your voice, you can teach it your voice. You can take context, text, speech from other things, put it in there, it'll identify that stuff, and you put it in there. And if you put it in your profile up top, it's going to create it for you. Again, it's still a little too much. It's bullet points. The last thing I was doing, I was practicing and I was trying to do a TLDR, too long, didn't read. So that's why I was doing a lot of bullet points in there. It's fine. I actually like this. It's not bad. But if I look at this, upgrade your life with Wheaton's go-to real estate expert. I like that. Move up in Wheaton. I've got you covered with deep local expertise, cutting-edge marketing, and a personalized touch. I make your transition seamless and stress-free. I actually like that. It's not bad. I could look at this and see what's going on. For me, this would be my UVP. That's not bad. Now, I could do things in here like give me 3 iterations of that. Make it more motivational. I could throw power words and stuff like that in here to make that out there. Make it SEO friendly if you really want to do it that way. I can make a lot of this happen. But that's essentially what you did. I have just spent in 15-ish minutes while talking to you, creating a UVP. But those are the 3 factors you got to do. So again, just as a reminder, you can use ChatGPT with the proper prompts. But the 3 things you need to identify in there is what's that target audience? What's their pain, motivations, desires, strengths? What are second thing, what are your strengths and weaknesses in an area? And what are your competitions? When you put those 3 together, you can put this into, this is using a really crazy Venn diagram strategy. You can come out here and have that. And in that middle is your unique selling proposition, your unique value proposition. Once having that done, you're good to go. And now you have it created for you. So with that, I hope this helps, folks. I hope you go and have a great day. At any point in time you like what you're seeing, please like and subscribe to the YouTube channel. It comes on. It doesn't always come on at the same time. I try to do this every Friday, but it doesn't always happen that way. So as long as you click the bell, you'll get notified every time that it pops up. Please share this with people who would find value in this. We'll see you at the next training.